Hi guys, this is Ms. Grabakis. I'm going to be talking to you guys about expanding polynomials. So up until this point, we've done a lot of work to be able to find the x-intercepts, the roots. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to work backwards. So I'm going to give you the zeros, the roots, and I'm going to ask you to expand to get back to an original polynomial. So a couple things to consider before we jump into our examples. The first thing is I'm going to give you the zeros. We have to write those as a factor. I'll show you what I mean in a second. The other thing to keep in mind is conjugate pairs. So when we're talking conjugate pairs, think about when we are working with square roots. When we square root something, we always have a plus minus, right? Plus minus anything, right? Radical 2. We also always seem to have a plus minus with some I involved, and sometimes there's also a radical here, right? So whenever we're dealing with irrational numbers or imaginary numbers, we will always have pairs. There's always going to be a buddy. There's always going to be a positive and a negative version of that number. So then the last thing to do is, after setting them up as factors, we distribute. Foiling is involved sometimes, but the big deal here is the distributing. So this can get a little messy if you don't keep track, so just be careful of that as you're working through the practice problems and the homework. Okay, so these are the zeros. So what happens is this would be like the end of what you've been finding for me so far. So these would look like this, right? So you would say x equals all this stuff, circle it, and call it good, right? Well, now this is where we're starting. So we're working backwards. So what would this guy look like as a factor? Well, we can think about adding 4 over to the other side. So this would look like x plus 4 equals 0, right? So when we're thinking about getting it back into factors, these parentheses are those factors. So we would have x plus 4 here. Similarly, we want to add 5 over to the other side, so we have x plus 5 equals 0. So x plus 5 is another one of our factors. Last is we have 5 here, so we'll subtract. We get x minus 5 equals 0. So then x minus 5 would go in here. So we've written all of our zeros as factors, and now we want to distribute. So there were no conjugate pairs to consider here. We did not have an I or a square root to work with, so this is just very straightforward. So then, now we have to FOIL stuff out. I would recommend focusing on x plus 5, x minus 5 first. It doesn't matter. You could do x plus 4 and x plus 5 first, and then once you have your trinomial, multiply x minus 5. But since we have x plus 5, x minus 5, this is a special case, and you'll see why in a second. So if I were to take a second and do my foiling, my firsts, x times x gets me x squared. X times negative 5 is my outers. 5 times x is my inners. And then 5 times negative 5 are my lasts. So then what happens here is, as you notice, we end up canceling the 5s. So we end up with x plus 4 and then x squared minus 25. So now we want to do one more foiling and we'll be done. So we want first x times x squared gets me x to the third. X times negative 25 is negative 25x. 4 times x squared is positive 4x squared. and 4 times negative 25 is negative 100. Last thing we want to check for before we circle this as our final answer is, do we have any like terms to combine? We don't. The other thing to consider when you are working with your final answer, we want this as a polynomial function, right? If we look back, it says write a polynomial function of blah, blah, blah. A function is not an expression. A function is an equation. So you can't leave this as x cubed, just x cubed plus 4x squared minus 25x minus 100. You have to have y equals or f of x equals or something out front in order for this to be a polynomial function. So that would be our final answer for that one. Jumping into the next one. Again, no radicals, no i's, so we don't have to consider conjugate pairs for this one. This one's a straightforward one, like the last one. The only thing that's a little bit different is that 2/5, and I'm going to show you what to do with that in a second. So the first two are self-explanatory. We did those in the last one. The 2/5, you could end up working with x minus 2/5 as a factor, but who wants to deal with fractions? Nobody. So we can fix that. If we take a second and multiply both sides by 5, and then subtract the 2, our factor is 5x minus 2. So placing all of our factors in here, now we have to FOIL. So there's no special cases here. We don't have a +5 or -5 or a +3 and a -3. So we really just have to pick 2 and work with it. So let's just pick the first 2 then to work with and FOIL this out. So we have x times x for our firsts, which gets us x squared. Outers, x times -3. Inners, -5 times x. And then lasts, -5 times -13. Combine like terms, we end up with x squared minus 8x plus 15. And we still have that 5x minus 2. Okay, here's where you need to make sure that you try to be neat. So we have a 5x and a minus 2 that we're going to multiply by this trinomial over here. So what's going to happen is the 5x we're going to multiply by all these pieces, and then multiplying the -2 by all the pieces. So let's just work with the 5x first. 5x times x squared, 5x times -8, 5x times 15, and then we work with -2. So now that you've distributed -2 to all those pieces, now we just want to take a second to combine like terms. We want to remember that it has to be an equation. So we have a 5x cubed minus 42x squared, 91x minus 30. And that would be our polynomial. Okay, the next couple of examples I have, one deals with an irrational, a square root, and one of them deals with an imaginary. All right, so we have x equals -2 and x equals square root of 7. So we have to take a second and make sure that we recognize when there's a positive root 7, there's always a negative root 7 right behind them. So we have to consider negative root 7 as well, even though it's not written. So now we have all of our zeros. We need to translate these back to our factors. All right, so pause here if you need to get caught up to this point. So as of this moment, you want to pick to work with, you want to pick the conjugate pairs to work with. So then if we do FOILing, we're going to notice something happening. So x times x gets me x squared. X times root 7 is root 7x. Negative root 7 times x is minus root 7x. And then root 7 times root 7, negative, ends up getting us just 7. Because if we multiply these two together, we end up getting negative root 49. What's the square root of 49? 7. So that's where that 7 comes from. So simplifying that, we end up still having this x plus 2, and then we end up getting x squared minus 7. So now we want to take one more second and FOIL that out, and we will have our answer. And that is all set. All right, last question. Last example. We have x equals 5, and we have x equals 1 minus 2i. So our conjugate pair always will have a sign change in the middle. So if this is 1 minus 2i, then we have to assume that 1 plus 2i is not far behind. So I'm going to take a second and translate these into factors. So take a pause, and then we'll see what that looks like in a second. Okay, so this is what this would look like as factors. So now we want to take a second and FOIL this out. So now foiling this out, our focus would probably be on these two first. There is a shortcut that I want to show you. So anytime that you have your conjugate pairs that look like this, if it was 1 minus root 2, this applies the same. What we can do is there's a shortcut. So we can group and take this x minus 1 and then this 2i. And what happens is this is what we call a pattern of difference of squares. So this translates to, so now what we want to do is focus on just the orange and the purple. So what this is doing is this is taking out the combining like terms step that you saw in the previous one, where we saw that negative root 7x and positive root 7x canceled each other out. Because this is a little bit more involved with distribution, this is the shortcut that you can pay attention to. If you wanted to distribute all of that out and multiply, x by x, negative 1 and negative 2i, and then multiply negative 1 by all of the blue, and then positive 2i by all the blue, that's perfectly fine. This is just hopefully saving a step and saving some possible errors that might happen. So what we want to do is this x minus 1 squared is written like this. So we want to take a second and FOIL that out. So after we FOIL that out, we get x squared minus 2x plus 1. And then this purple stuff, we end up getting 4i squared when we square that. But if you guys remember from our quadratics chapter, I squared is equal to negative 1. So what happens in here is this purple stuff becomes a negative 4. We're subtracting a negative 4, which means we add 4. So we get x squared minus 2x plus 5. So we still have this x minus 5 from above. So we're just going to take a second and do the steps out like we did in example 2 by making sure that we multiply x by all the pieces and we multiply negative 5 by all the pieces. So pause your video, take a second, FOIL this all out, check back with what I've got. So check back in, check if you got what I got after distributing, and then we just need to take a second and combine like terms. So we have x cubed minus 7x squared plus 15x minus 25. And that's the answer to that question. So take a look at your homework. There's 3 questions. We'll be able to talk about your homework in class. So just come to class with questions. And I'll see you guys in the next one.